If generations of your family had seduced you with tales of a life down under, you might be tempted to follow in their footsteps. But would the promise of Australia and all it offers be enough to pull you away from loved ones you may never see again? Keith Hansen is passionate about moving down under.
And my life in Australia, it looks like a couple of kids, a nice house somewhere, and the odd koala in the tree. There's a swimming pool!
That's
yes!
amazing. But wife Mary's not sure.
I do feel I would be letting my dad down if I moved to Australia.
So will a week in the country secure Keith the future he wants?
When we're moving in then, Mary?
Or leave Mary convinced there's no place like home?
I've got 24 hours now to make the biggest decision of my life.
For over 2 centuries, people have been arriving on Australia's shores to explore some of the world's most distinct natural landscape. Over 28 million hectares of the country is designated as national parkland, offering the lure of wide open spaces, fresh air and spectacular scenery to the thousands of British people who dream of calling it their home.
Captivated by family tales of adventure and romance in a land down under, Keith and Mary Hansen dream of creating their own reality in Australia. But starting a new life on the other side of the world may be easier said than done, as Mary is struggling with the prospect of leaving behind her beloved father. Will a week sampling the country be enough to secure Keith the future he now craves and convince Mary it's time to go on an adventure all of their own?
The couple spent almost 23 hours in the sky travelling from London to Melbourne. With stopovers and delays, the flight hasn't been straightforward.
We had to land and refuel and then take off again and then land again, and we couldn't land in Dubai, and then we were sent to, was it Oman?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, we made it, which is good.
Yeah.
The journey's given Mary time to reflect on how far they've come.
I've been thinking about whether my dad would be able to come over and how difficult the flight would be for him to do.
And they've both had time to focus on the importance of the next 7 days.
This week could be a life-changing week for us because it will influence the rest of our lives and where we're going to settle and hopefully bring up a family. So everything's riding on it, really.
I feel it's my passion to be here, and obviously I've got to try and convince Mary to be here, so I'm hoping this week I'll get the opportunity to get Mary on board.
Meet the Hansens, Mary and Keith, from the town of Bell Broughton near Birmingham. Living with their chickens and 2 cats, the pair like nothing more than being outside.
We love just being outside in the fresh air. We like nature and love going walking when we get opportunity.
Everything about the couple just seems to add up.
Between us, we just kind of 2 + 2 = 4.
We work well as a team.
We do, yeah. The Hansen team. Just going to put the chorizo in the oven.
Life's good in the UK.
Some tapas food for everybody. So.
But Keith thinks it could be even better by moving to Australia, an idea first triggered by tales of the land down under from Mary's extended family.
My aunt went on a boat as a £10 pom, but my uncle did a slightly more adventurous trip, and he went over by motorbike, and it always just made me fascinated with wanting to go and see the world and almost recreate the journey that he did.
But by plane.
But by plane, yeah. not by motorbike.
Their stories have helped Keith conjure up a vivid picture of what life could be like there for him and Mary.
Life in Australia, it looks like a couple of kids, a nice house somewhere out in the countryside, the odd koala in the tree, kind of nice lifestyle of us picking our own sort of vegetables that we grow.
Should be some nice plums.
Keith talks about Australia constantly. Every day he's bringing up a story or something he's read or something he's heard.
I try to bring in different angles and different ways to convince you that it's the right thing to do.
Make me pay attention.
And that's it, yeah.
Mary loves the idea, but the decision to cut ties with home is proving easier said than done.
John, here's your coffee.
Oh, wonderful.
There you go. Place that there for us, a couple of biscuits.
Since losing her mother to cancer, she's been helping to care for her father.
My dad has Parkinson's disease, and at the moment it is controlled by medication, but he will gradually get worse with time.
You've got 3 hens. The guy on the TV last night, they got 9,000.
We do care for him, basically. We have to help him with all different kind of just household tasks.
The thought of leaving him is devastating for Mary.
If I went to Australia, I'd be leaving a massive gap in Dad's life.
They've got their own lives to lead as well.
I don't know if I could reconcile with myself if something happened to Dad while I was out there. I'm not that strong a person to be able to handle that, I don't think.
Put a bit of chocolate on it for you.
Oh, that's a lovely.
Mary's dad's equally upset at the prospect of his daughter moving so far from home. But he would never stand in her way.
I don't want to make them feel as though they've got to look after me. I'm all right here. Don't spoil me pot.
It's a difficult situation, but having already secured an Australian visa, Keith's desperate to pursue the life he wants before it's too late.
Being 42, my age is against me, and I think would become a problem if I left it another 3-4 years to go. So, and I really like the idea of the dream and everything the country could give us in terms of lifestyle and possibly starting a family.
But if Mary can't be convinced moving to the country she's heard so much about is a realistic option for her, the Australian dream Keith's now taken ownership of could fail to take flight.
I worry that it's a nice idea for a holiday, but could I actually live out there knowing what I'd be leaving behind? I don't know if I could.
To see if Australia is somewhere they could both call home, Mary and Keith are spending their trial week in Melbourne, capital of Victoria. They're staying in Ferny Creek, a southeastern suburb in the Yarra Ranges.
This is so beautiful. It's such an amazing place.
Their base is this modern house situated on the border of a state forest. Whilst only an hour's drive from central Melbourne, it's a world away from the hustle and bustle of the city and offers the kind of scenery agricultural expert Mary will love.
The trees and just
Wow,
the setting.
that is so beautiful. Look at the view.
Fantastic.
Look at the view down here with the sun on the hills.
Yeah, and over there.
So far, they're wildly impressed with their introduction to Aussie living.
This is an absolutely beautiful house. Yeah, I'm sold.
Taking in more of the view presents Keith with an ideal opportunity.
No, Mary, you think you might be convinced? Yes.
Yeah,
or,
something like this is,
something similar to this might
convince me, yes.
I'll keep trying.
Yeah.
Mary's not promising anything, but it doesn't stop Keith making himself at home.
Yeah, I'm being very nosy, actually.
I have no idea.
I'll be back in a minute.
Joking aside, Keith appreciates the dilemma facing his wife.
The expectations need to be filled, and only then, on that basis, I think, can you really then make a decision on your dad as well.
He's definitely going to be a leading factor in our decision making this week, though, and I reckon we're going to be thinking about him quite a bit.
Back in the UK, the Hansons live in Mary's childhood home in the village of Bell Broughton in the West Midlands.
This place was originally built by Mary's dad, who converted it from an old dairy, and the cows had vacated before Mary was here.
So there's quite a lot of history attached with this house. I've got a lot of good memories here. We're very lucky to be here.
Yeah.
With such strong emotional ties, any house in Australia will have a lot to live up to.
It's got to be something special.
Yeah, with a bit of land, and I would like a swimming pool.
With a budget of around £800,000, that could be possible. So is there anything else on the wish list?
Really like some of the colonial style properties,
Anything
sort of
with
verandas
features.
and yeah, the features.
Today we'll show the couple 3 properties, 2 based on budget and a third which we think could be their dream home. Only after viewing each one will they find out its value.
You never know, we might get lucky with one of these properties. We might even get somewhere with a swimming pool.
Yeah.
Getting the day underway, Mary and Keith head 11 miles from their rental house to the suburb of Harkaway. Surrounded by bushland, the location promises tranquility, but with lots of local amenities, it also offers the perfect blend of rural retreat and city living.
Really, really like it. Look at the view of the
Yeah, the
hills
hills.
and the trees. It's gorgeous.
Yeah, the scenery is really nice.
Will this 3-bedroom Victorian farmhouse be just what they're after?
It looks nice, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, it's really, really nice.
Inside, the period features will hopefully impress.
Oh, wow. Oh, I like this.
Oh wow, look at the ceiling height. This is
And the tiles. Oh.
well, check out the stained glass. That's beautiful. Look at the archway.
Full of character, the style is proving a hit.
It's definitely our cup of tea,
Yeah.
as the English would say.
But it could take time to get used to the layout.
Oh, there's a surprise. It's a bedroom.
Wow,
That's interesting.
You don't expect that, do you?
No.
A main bedroom located at the front of the property isn't what they're used to, but they're not put off.
Well, it's a lovely Victorian fireplace
Yes.
and some built-in storage. Wow.
The living room pleases.
Crikey, look at the size of it. That's beautiful. Nice mirror.
Oh, it's a fantastic room, isn't it?
Yeah, this is like really impressive.
With things going well, it's an opportune moment for Keith to ask about the future.
When we're moving in then, Mary?
He could be getting ahead of himself because Mary's not sold on the kitchen.
It's a little bit small, perhaps.
Yeah, little island.
Needs modernising.
The dated decor is not to their taste. Maybe the outdoors area will turn things around.
Really, really nice. Yeah, bonus getting a summer house.
Yeah, it's a good addition, isn't it?
I reckon it's quite nice in the winter. Nice and snug.
Yeah,
The
very
sun
hot
up
and
is-
the sun.
Oh, yeah, but it's just a nice place to come out in the garden when it's a little bit cooler. You have a nice glass of wine and, yeah, it'd be really nice.
With over an acre of land and more to see outside, this house could be the one to sell his dream move.
Look, there's a swimming pool.
That's
Yes,
amazing.
definitely. This is the kind of property that we'd want to buy. We've got barbecue area,
definitely
beautiful house.
tempting. This is amazing. And the
It's all
weather as
character
well.
style as well, Victorian
Yeah.
style.
The ball is very much in Mary's court,
This is the outdoor lifestyle.
but she's not serving up the answer Keith wants just yet. Back inside, they're wondering if, with £800,000, they could afford to call a house like this home.
How much do you think it's worth?
Probably 880 or something like that.
Yeah, I'm going to go a bit lower. I'd say it's high, but there's still a bit of work to do on it. So
Yeah.
possibly 825, around that sort of level.
Time to find out if they're right.
Go on. Let's have a look. Oh wow, £790,000.
Wow.
That's £10,000 under budget.
Can't believe
Oh,
that.
it's closer than you to the
You
price. Yeah, for what you get.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
The price of the house has been a pleasant surprise, and there are still 2 more properties left to view. The next is in the eastern suburb of Olinda.
Do you think you could live round here, somewhere like
I
here?
could
Do you think you could?
definitely live around somewhere like this.
It's around 30 miles from the city centre and right in the middle of the bushy and scenic Dandenong Ranges. With cafes, shops and schools, it's a desirable place for couples and young families.
Look at the school. Isn't that lovely? Lovely building.
Yeah, it looks like a really nice community.
Will this modern 6-bedroom home promising panoramic views win them over?
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, it's different.
Yeah,
Not something
I
we'd
do
have
like it,
thought
no.
about, really. Oh,
No.
well, let's go and have a little look. Oh, look at the water.
Yeah.
Lovely. Wow, look at the hallway.
Oh, that's nice.
Wow. Ah, what an amazing view.
Yeah.
That is.
Oh, that's
Wow,
incredible.
that's breathtaking. That is, I mean, you must be able to see for absolutely miles.
It's a big thumbs up so far, but how will the sleek minimalist kitchen living area fare?
A bit different. It's contemporary.
Can you see yourself in this
kind
I
of?
could see myself definitely cooking something on that big range cooker.
I'm not too sure how I feel about the contemporariness of it.
Yeah, it's a different style of house to
Yeah.
what we're used to. Well, we'll keep an open mind. And
Yeah.
Keith's staying positive, but Mary's unsure. Perhaps the master bedroom will change her mind.
Imagine waking up in the morning to that view.
Yeah.
And going out and having yourself a nice cup of coffee.
It's lovely.
Yeah.
The house has certainly been designed to make the most of the surrounding landscape. And it's not just the decked balcony on offer.
It's a walk-in wardrobe. But
Oh,
yeah,
that would be so useful.
you could definitely fit all your clothes in there. I don't know where I'll be putting my stuff. I'll have to...
I'm not that bad.
And there's something else that might fit the bill for Mary downstairs.
Oh, whoa, look at this.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, there you go, Mary.
I like that.
Perfect. It's a gym.
I'll be in here also.
Yeah. I wouldn't use it myself, so I'm happy to have a burger instead.
Or how about some popcorn, Keith?
It'd be great to get the friends round, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
Come
be
round
brilliant.
and watch a movie, have a beer, do a barbecue, all that kind of thing.
An added cinema room would be a bonus, but the couple still seem more interested in viewing the landscape.
People would be amazed at that, wouldn't they?
This...
You wouldn't get people in off the balcony.
No, you wouldn't get them to leave your house, would you, really?
But it's just not enough to sway Mary.
It's a beautiful house, it really is. But it's not somewhere I could see myself living.
And Keith agrees it's not for them.
We want something with a bit of character and a bit
Yeah.
of history. And I mean, if you could take maybe the first house and give it that view, that would be great.
But perhaps the price will give them more to think about.
I would actually think this is probably out of our budget.
I'd say 850 maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe more,
I'm
maybe
thinking
more.
higher than that,
Yeah.
to be
Should
honest.
we have a look then?
You ready?
Yeah,
Sure?
go on.
OK,
Go
right.
on.
Let's have a look then. Ooh. Oh, wow.
Wow!
790,000.
Once again, that's £10,000 under budget.
That's a
Pounds.
lot less than I thought it would be.
Do you think that changes any opinions, or do you feel...
I could live in a house like this, but possibly not for a long period of time.
So despite being affordable, it's not somewhere they see themselves settling.
For something to convince me to move to Australia, it's got to be something better house-wise than what we've got now, really.
To view the final property of the day, the couple head to Upwey, a rural suburb bordering a state forest around 20 miles east of central Melbourne. Close to rail networks, it's a popular area for commuters.
I thought we were finished getting to the top of this hill. We seem to be
No,
getting
keep-
higher and
keep
higher,
going.
and away we're going. Crikey, this is steep. Hope it doesn't snow up here.
What will the couple make of this four-bedroom designer home?
It certainly looks interesting, doesn't it?
Oh, wow, listen to the birds. Oh, it's lovely.
The house has curb appeal, but will they be singing its praises inside?
Lovely entrance hall. Look at the size, really high ceilings. Nice colour scheme too.
Very big and open.
Bigger than I thought it was going to be anyway.
The modern open-plan living area proves popular.
It's an unusual design.
I can see that we could use the space.
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah.
You've
This
got
would
your
be,
different areas, haven't you?
I do like the bar stools as well.
Yeah.
Even with its contemporary finish, things are looking good in this house.
This is what you call a master room,
Yeah,
isn't
this
it?
is really, really cool.
It's
Wow.
massive.
Wow, yeah. High ceilings as well.
And the ensuite?
Oh, I like it.
Yeah, really, really cool. Might want to put a door on it though, because not unless you don't mind seeing somebody using the bathroom.
Yeah.
But,
It's a fair point. Downstairs, they're blown away by the view.
Oh, wow, look at this.
wow.
That
We're not in
is-
Australia. We're in the Hollywood Hills. Look,
That's
it looks like Los
amazing.
Angeles in the background. You can see all the
It does.
skyscrapers.
Oh,
Wow.
Let's stick to the Australian dream for now, Keith.
Definitely have a drink here and see the view. Watch the world go by.
Mary's not allowing herself to get carried away.
this is going to be over our budget most,
This
without
is-
question.
But Keith, on the other hand, isn't holding back.
We'll work wonders here. A swimming pool.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, a nice big long swimming pool.
Inside, Mary admits she's surprised the house has won her over.
I thought it might be a bit too modern for
Yeah.
what I like, but
It's
actually
a mixture of
yeah.
styles and it just works.
It is,
What
yeah.
do you think it might be?
Possibly even million plus.
I'm thinking probably minimum 950.
Yeah,
Let's see what the price is.
Okay.
Oh, here we go.
Right,
Let's
go
have
on.
a look. Go on
Right.
then. Wow.
950,000.
That's £150,000 over budget.
That's better than I thought it was going to be. That's amazing.
Hang on a minute, didn't I just say 950,000?
You did say, yes, you did get that right. Even if it's something that we couldn't necessarily have now,
Yeah,
it would be
maybe in the
something in the future, perhaps,
Definitely.
and that's actually really encouraging.
Despite being over budget, Keith and Mary's property search down under has ended on a real high. Full of character, the first house suited the couple down to a T, and discovering it was affordable was a real bonus. Property 2 was under budget, but a tad too modern for Mary, and even the spectacular view wasn't enough to sway her. But despite the contemporary finish and being over budget, the couple were utterly charmed by Property 3. So when it comes to the vote, has Mary seen enough to choose houses in Australia over her beloved home in the UK?
After a long day of property hunting, it's now time to vote. Australia! Yay! Give me a hug.
Some of the properties I've seen have just blown me away. They're amazing.
I'm glad you made this choice.
I thought you would, but I've seen some lovely houses today.
A first vote for Australia from Mary means Keith's dream is moving in the right direction. But to afford the lifestyle he's been selling, they need to secure employment with good salaries. Back in the UK, Mary has spent the past 5 years working as a postdoctoral researcher at a university.
I work in plant pathology, so I look at crop diseases and ways of detecting and diagnosing crop disease.
She's passionate about her field of work.
If I couldn't find a similar job in Australia, I'm not sure I'd want to move there, to be honest. It is very important to me.
But while she enjoys a decent work-life balance, things are completely different for Keith. Running his own graphic design business from home, he's often working around the clock to meet deadlines.
My hours can be anything from 40 to 60 hours. When the work's here, I can't turn it down, which means I have to work on a late evening or on weekends.
Keith's hoping doing the same job in Australia will allow him to have more quality time with Mary.
The lifestyle is different out there, and I would hope that we'll be able to spend a little bit more time together, evening and weekends.
With high expectations, the couple head out to explore work opportunities in Melbourne. And Mary knows exactly what she needs to hear today.
If I'm going to seriously consider moving to Australia, then I'd need my job to provide me at least 35,000 and 37 hours a week working.
We've arranged for her to meet with expat Professor Roger Cousins at the University of Melbourne.
Hello Mary, how are you? I'm Roger Cousins. Welcome to the...
After a tour of the department, Mary gets down to business.
Is a British PhD like I've got something that would be transferable to Australia?
Yeah, it's internationally recognised. With your qualifications, you would go into a postdoctoral research fellow position.
It's good news, but Mary's still worried about job security down under.
In the UK, I'm lucky enough to have a permanent job. Would the equivalent exist in Australia at my level?
Not as a permanent position. You would have to get a few years under your belt and probably expect to have those short-term positions before you then would be competitive for a permanent job.
Realising permanent jobs in academia can be rare highlights for Mary the fortunate position she's in at home and could make uprooting very difficult. Meanwhile, we've arranged for Keith to visit a design agency in Collingwood outside the city centre, where he's catching up with creative director Richie Meldrum. To begin, Keith's hoping to get feedback on his CV.
There's definitely areas that are an attribute to you as a designer, and then I think there's some areas where you could benefit from skilling up in. There is a lot of digital design and website design opportunities for designers here, and I think that's probably maybe an area where you could look to kind of strengthen yourself, you know.
Yeah.
With a largely print background, Keith would need more experience in digital design, but he's not put off.
It's definitely something I'm personally interested in, and it is something I'm actually in the process of doing myself.
Planning to continue working for himself down under too, Keith's keen to hear how he might slot into the freelance market in Australia.
Your print background and your print production knowledge means that if we get a project that's got that specialist skill requirement, then there'd probably be a fit there.
Freelance working is an option, but might be limited to print work to begin with.
In the UK, I earn 30 to 35,000 per year, and I just wondered what kind of money or wages I could earn here.
Working as a freelancer, obviously, I think that there's the chance to earn slightly more than that, kind of 45 to 50,000 pounds a year salary. If you work solidly throughout the year, that is, and take on a lot of clients. Maybe not 7 days a week, but certainly, you know, like taking on a lot of work.
Keith could be earning more than he does back home, but it sounds like his work-life balance might not improve as much as he'd hoped. The morning has given him much to think about. Back at university, Mary's discussing her work hours.
Nominally it's 37 hours a week, but it depends on what's happening at the time and whether you have to go on field work or that sort of thing. So it tends to be very flexible at university.
Maybe the odd long day if you've got an experiment going.
Yes.
Yes.
Similar hours to back home is good news. So what could Mary expect to earn?
Somewhere in the region of £42,000 a year.
An increase of £7,000 on her current annual salary is more than she was hoping for.
Do you think I'd be able to get a position at the university or in Australia generally?
Yes, without a doubt, but it may take some time and you may have to be fairly patient.
She might not be guaranteed work straight away, but the prospects are promising. When the couple reunite, they're keen to reflect on what they've heard.
I don't feel that my career would particularly progress here any better than it would in the UK. There's absolutely no difference for what I do for my job.
I probably feel similar because although the salary's more, I would have to give up my permanent contract. But then again, that is kind of what you expect within science and within academia.
Could they both be sitting on the fence when it comes to the vote between work in Australia and the UK?
Undecided.
Australia.
So I'm voting, I have to vote undecided.
I nearly voted undecided. What did you say?
So at the moment, until I've sort of completed my week, I'm just undecided on the job front at the moment.
Because I thought you would vote Australia all the time, so I am surprised.
Voting with his head rather than his heart, Keith's undecided vote for work was unexpected for Mary. Are the tables beginning to turn, or will the chance to experience the laid-back Australian lifestyle they've heard so much about help keep the dream alive for both of them?
Given their love of being outdoors, Mary and Keith start their day at the Royal Botanic Gardens in the centre of Melbourne.
As a leading plant biologist, you should be in your element here.
But it's not just Mary who has green fingers.
Over here and over here, you've got Dicksonia antarctica.
Oh, yeah, the tree fern.
It's the perfect pick-me-up after Keith's disappointing day at work. And it's not long before he's pointing out the benefits of moving down under.
It's just a shame we don't get anything like this in England, really.
No, we don't,
I know
do
there's a few nice places in Cornwall, but not like this.
A final stop to admire more tropical plants.
Oh, look at this.
Whoa.
It's incredible.
It's got to be a massive pot plant.
Yeah.
And then it's time for lunch at a historic boathouse overlooking the Yarra River. where the couple reflect on everything they've experienced so far.
Wonderful setting. You can get used to the lifestyle, like eating outside and...
It depends on your business, doesn't it? Because if you're having to do more hours to make that work, then that's kind of would be a bit of a downside, because then we wouldn't necessarily get much opportunity to do this.
Just have to make more efforts, try and come out a little bit more and do a little bit more.
Or maybe if you earned a little bit less.
Yeah, may have to do that.
Keith appears to have turned a corner and will be more flexible with his ideas to keep Mary on side. Finally, the couple soak up more of each other's company out on the water.
You on?
Yeah, I'm in.
Okay, then, just untie the boat.
But it's not exactly a case of coasting along.
We can make that bridge, come on.
Right,
we can make it.
Right.
Row your side. No, you did it wrong. Come on, row. Am I going to have to do it all myself? Come on.
I forgot how to row.
No.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it, we got it. That's how you remember how to row. I'm going to fall in.
There you go.
There you go, we've done it.
Back on dry land, Keith's more convinced than ever Australia is right for them both.
Everything seems to be much more geared to being more relaxed. People just generally seem to be happy, and of course you've got like great weather as well, which obviously helps.
But the distance from home is playing on Mary's mind.
I do feel I would be letting my dad down if I moved to Australia. I feel like I should be there for him. It's a very difficult decision to make.
I'm trying to do this so we can both have a better life. I hope that Mary's dad would understand that, because I really care about him as well, and it is very hard.
With so much to consider, Mary's struggling to find an answer.
It would be an ideal time for us to move, and we're ready for a new chapter in our lives. But it's difficult because Dad needs us. I've got 24 hours now to make the biggest decision of my life, really.
For now, the couple have to decide on the Aussie lifestyle. Has it lived up to the stories they've heard about life down under?
After a day of leisure activities in Australia, it's now time to vote. Australia!
Wow!
The weather justifies it, really,
it was
doesn't
lovely. So I really enjoyed today. It's been brilliant.
Can't go any other way, really, can you?
No, that's it. This is great. I could definitely do this again.
Yeah.
See us doing it every
too.
weekend. Oh, it's been a lovely day.
While he hasn't got the green light yet from Mary, a vote for the Australian lifestyle has brought Keith a step closer to the dream. But they still need to consider the financial implications of relocating 10,000 miles from home. To fund a move, the couple would have to sell their home in the UK. They think it's worth around £600,000. We sent 2 estate agents round to find out if they're right.
Oh, it is slightly sunny.
It looks quite nice,
Yeah, it
doesn't
does.
it?
Yeah. Fantastic finish to the lounge, a grey log burner in the corner. The windows to the front may need replacing in the next couple of months.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we need it.
Nice sized kitchen.
Oh, convenient. Oi, get off the table.
This is an impressive master bedroom, however, it's not ideal only having one upstairs for families.
Yeah, good point.
Newly built outbuilding with some fantastic features, Velux windows, log burner, a great addition to the property.
Oh, that's good.
In the current market, I would value this property, once completed, at approximately $525,000. In its current state, I would value it at $485,000.
In the current market, once it's completed, I would value this property at $550,000. In its current state, I would value it at $500,000.
It would have been nice to have it maybe a little bit higher, because obviously we'd want to get the house finished first before we could sell it, because I wouldn't want to sell it as it is currently for the lower value.
With valuations lower than expected, the rest of the figures will need to be more favourable to make cutting ties financially feasible.
Right, ready?
Yeah, come on.
We've provided a comparison of cost of living expenses between the UK and Australia. The couple start with the weekly grocery shop.
Avocados, we eat quite a few of them, don't we?
Yeah, we do.
UK £2, Australia, $3.19, so they're more expensive over here.
Interesting.
The other thing is the cheese. We eat a lot of cheese.
Yes, we do. Too much cheese.
Yeah, $3.25 in the UK, $5.32 here.
Wow, that's a lot more expensive. Okay.
The sums show the food bill would be just over £18 more in Australia. But Keith's putting his wife's expert knowledge of agriculture to good use.
There's a lot we could grow here just based around the climate, like onions, avocados. So that could significantly bring down the cost.
And if all else fails...
I might diet when we first come out if it means I get a yes vote out of you.
Next, it's bigger bills, starting with mortgage repayments. Basing their figures on the first house they viewed, the couple discover they'd be paying out over £100 more down under.
We don't really want to go out of our way to have a higher mortgage bill, but I guess we could always extend our mortgage here.
When they realised they'd make a saving on council tax, Keith's quick to seize the opportunity.
Wow, that's a difference of £60 a month. And interestingly, our council tax has just gone up in the UK as well. We would actually probably save a little bit more than that.
Isn't it?
Not that I'm trying to be biased towards Australia, of course.
But even he finds it hard to stay positive when the outgoings ring in significantly more.
£363 per month is a lot of money. You can only do so much dieting and fruit picking.
The couple's potential earnings could now make or break the deal. Mary's higher salary in Australia boils down to £600 more per month. And although Keith was told he could earn up to £50,000 a year, he's come to a decision.
Yes, when I spoke to the agency, they did say that the average salary for my work would be $35,000 a year. And obviously, if I did do freelance, obviously would be a bit more money. But then I would like to cut my hours down a bit, so I'm going to say that I would probably earn about $35,000 per year.
Together, they'd bring in over £900 more each month. And overall, the final sum show they're
£567 a month better off.
So after our outgoings
Great. So
in Australia...
So we can buy more cheese. And we could probably double that figure if we grew our own food as well.
Maybe.
Phew, I can sigh of relief.
Don't relax too soon, Keith. There's still the vote.
So after our reality check, it's now time to vote.
Australia! Why have you chosen Australia? Not that I'm not complaining.
I voted for Australia because obviously you would have the potential to earn the same amount of money or even slightly more, but you'd also be able to maybe work less hours.
Thank you. Very happy now.
Good.
Very happy.
The finances may have gone in Keith's favour, but he knows the real issue has still to be addressed. As they sit down to watch messages from home, Mary's fears about leaving her dad could put them back to square one.
I guess we've had our say and now we need to listen to them, don't we? So, you ready if we...
Yeah, go on.
Okay.
Hi, Keith. Hi, Mary.
Hi, Keith.
Hello,
and Mary.
Keith. Hello, Mary.
Hi, it's Dina, your sister here, and Dad.
Keith's a lovely lad. I'm glad to be his stepdad, and I love him.
He's kind and thoughtful, talks a lot, sometimes have a job to get a word in, but other than that, he's lovely, so couldn't wish for a better son, really.
Mary is very generous, very helpful. She can also be very stubborn, very opinionated at times, but I do love her.
I think we've inspired Keith and Mary to go look at the other half of the world.
You have, Brian.
It'd be lovely if they just stayed here and lived on my doorstep, but I realise that's not a reality.
If Mary moves to Australia, I think she will keep worrying about Dad. She's always been the caring one of the family. She's been the one who worries about how everybody's doing.
Make the decision for yourselves, and as long as it's one where you're both going to be really happy.
I trust that you'll be able to make your final decision. Personally, I hope you stay.
Don't worry about Dad and I, we'll be fine, whatever you decide.
It's hard to see actually how ill Dad
actually looks.
Didn't he? It's still very difficult to see him like that and think that I would be leaving him and not seeing him nearly as frequently, if you know, rarely really, if we did move here. So
yeah, I know it's difficult.
Mary's biggest concern has always been the prospect of leaving her father. Now forced to confront the reality of being on the other side of the world from him when she knows he needs her most. Will the Australian adventures her and Keith have imagined remain nothing more than a dream?
It's been an emotional end to their week down under, and despite his initial enthusiasm, Keith's starting to question whether they can make the move.
I generally feel a bit down, feeling a little bit uncertain about everything. Emotions are all over the place, to be honest.
I think Keith is probably feeling a bit more conflicted now, having watched the friends and family videos, seeing my dad and his family, and I think it might have impacted on him more than he thought it would.
Mary's dad has always been a stumbling block for her, but the reality of leaving him has hit home with Keith too.
Watching the friends and family video was very difficult, but I was quite taken aback by how Mary's dad looked, and it made me really realise how he feels.
For Mary, no matter which way she votes, someone will be heartbroken.
I do feel that I could be letting either Dad or Keith down by my final vote, so that does make it really hard.
Where the couple will settle comes down to just one decision. Will they choose home or away?
Australia! You've chosen Australia.
Yeah, but there is a proviso.
Now, hang on, again, some sort of what?
Proviso. We don't have to move immediately. We can take our time to think about it and make sure that Dad's care is fully sorted out and that we can be there for him for as long as possible.
I feel that the week's been really good and that the country has really convinced you about how good our quality of life could be out here. And yeah, I'm getting all choked up. But whatever happens with your dad, I can promise you I won't let him down, I won't let you down.
We won't let him down.
So thank you. I found a paper, so should we start looking for some properties?
What? No,
hang on a minute, hang on a minute.
The chance to explore Australia for themselves has fueled the couple's appetite for making the country their home. But determined to do the best for Mary's dad, it could be some time before they're on the move. Whatever the next stage of their journey is, we wish them health, happiness and many enjoyable adventures of their own.
If you've ever wondered what happens next on Escape to the Country, join us this afternoon for the new catch-up series at 3. After that, was cottage pie a favourite of the young Prince William? Royal recipes at 3:45. But next this morning, caught red-handed.